The sign not true. Yeah, it's like wow.
And that's just because I did have something for my information. But the average people, people up there. The Baptist church was.
Jamaica Uncut, and this is the St. John's Anglican Church. And today we are up in the hills in Sligoville. And Sligoville is on top of Spanish Town. It's about 25 minutes out of Spanish Town, up in the hills. Really, really cool. So when you're up here, you're looking back on the plains of St. Catherine. So you're looking back down into Kingston and all the way across over. So Jamaica Uncut OG Church, and we're on the road, and today we're showing you the St. John's Anglican Church up in the hills. Cool, cool. So we're gonna meet up with Mr. Carie Francis, and he's gonna give us a little bit of history about the church. So I met Carie a couple of weeks ago in Spanish Town, and he loved the movement and the work that we're doing. And because he has so much history about the churches in Spanish Town, he asked to be a part of the team. So, you know, we decided to take him on the road with us as he shows some history about these churches in the St. Catherine, specifically the Spanish Town area. Jamaica Uncut soon forward. So before me you born, Carie, the man that covered the church from before we born. And that's back into Kingston.
No, St. Catherine.
That's over into St. Catherine.
Continue from Spanish Town. That's
Okay.
Angel area.
Who is Sullivan?
He was the founder of this church.
Oh,
He built this church, and all the property you're looking at here belonging to.
What's Sullivan?
wow. Crazy.
Yeah, so what
As
happened?
far as the high can go.
This
So what
one
basically
person.
happened was that it was in 1840. The chapel was really dedicated as a private chapel to the O'Sullivan family.
Yes.
All right. Then later on, after his death, the land was more land to the church, and also the church became a part of the cathedral community. So it is now one of the mission outstation of the cathedral for the Anglican community in Sligoville.
All right, so now we're going to take a look on the inside of the church and get some more information about the history and the backstory of this church.
Exactly.
So it's a very small church, as you can see, people. Very small church. How many members you still have in this church
Well,
today?
so far, we at a good given day, like on Canon Sundays, we have at least 15. Sometimes it comes to 20.
Okay.
You know, once ago it was like you didn't have benches to hold the members. But you know, as time goes on, people migrate and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So people get older, then probably
Yes.
can't even climb the hill.
And you can notice, I'm out of them that line out there.
Right.
And then at the back, we have the baptismal font.
Right. You call it a baptismal font or a baptismal pool?
Baptismal font.
Font.
Yeah, the font is totally different from the pool.
Okay.
Smaller ears.
Okay. All right. So introduce yourself to the people again.
Okay, the name is Carie Francis. Right, and we had the last video
Right.
was at the cathedral, so this is me again, no, from another church in the hills of St. Carie.
And this is a member church.
It's a mission.
Mission church of your
association of the cathedral. The cathedral, the mother church in Spanish Town. Right? So
Okay.
it's one of the mission outstation. And probably the oldest.
How many mission outstations you have for the cathedral?
Currently we have three.
Okay.
This one in Sligoville, one further down in a district known as Mount Moreland. And we have another one out in Inzo that's out near to Old Harbour Road.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so when was this church built?
This church was actually dedicated in 1840.
When you say dedicated, explain.
It was built, but one being dedicated officially that worship can start taking place here. All right, so there would have been a special service, and normally in most cases the bishop would normally not be in attendance. So the church, the building is blessed, consecrated, and then from there on it's used for service. So it was opened in 1840, and as I mentioned earlier, it was a private chapel for the O'Sullivan family, for O'Sullivan and his family.
And the Sullivan, who is this Sullivan?
All right, he was a wealthy landowner. He had most of the properties in Sligoville. He actually had his manor house, well, his mansion, further down in the town, if you notice. Not the town, the adjoining property to the church.
Okay.
And that was also, it was named the O'Sullivan Great House.
Okay. And that house is still standing?
No, it was, it was destroyed in 1951 hurricane.
Oh.
So the current building there was erected after, and it was occupied by the Sligo family, and it was used right up to the early 2000 by the Peace Corps team who had a library there.
So the Sligoville community got the name from the Sligo family?
At the Marquis of Sligo, the second governor of Jamaica. Right. Funny enough, the original name for the community was actually Highgate. It was really around 1840, and the same time the chapel was dedicated, the same time the community, being established as a free village, was actually dedicated and renamed Sligoville in honor of the Howie Peter Brown, the second Marquis of Sligo. And it was really honoring him for his contribution to emancipation, and of course the selling of the lots, which became the first free village.
So this was a plantation at one point?
It was not for slaves, but it was
okay.
Yeah, for various kind of crops.
Okay, all right. Has this church ever been destroyed by any hurricanes or?
Yes, the 1951 hurricane.
Wow.
Not the structure, but the roof.
The roof.
Right, so
That 1950.
Hurricane Charlie.
People, listen to this. The 51 storm was nothing but a Category 1 hurricane. Category 1 hurricane now can't blow down a boardhouse. Back in them time, it destroyed everything in Jamaica. Practically everything got destroyed.
Chiefly Kingston was badly destroyed.
That's just how badly we used to build houses then.
In Kingston. Right. So the church did. So it was one of the churches that was damaged by the 51 hurricane.
And this church is still active every Sunday?
It is still active. It's still active every Sunday. Currently, the minister of the cathedral has responsibility for this church. So what happens is that we work in a time schedule, a timetable. So he would take a Sunday for having communion services here. So when the minister is not present, then a lay member of the church would conduct the service.
Okay. So people were up in the hills of Sligoville, and Sligoville is on top of Spanish Town. All right, people, so very small, intimate church. I say it was built in 1840. Yeah, really, really nice. I love the view from up here. Amazing, just cool and
behind
nice.
the church is the final resting place of Sir John Augustus O'Sullivan, who was the owner of this property, which was given to the Anglican Church in Jamaica.
Okay, all right.
So it was said that he owned not only church property, his property over there, where his house was, So you know the properties in the hill. Most of those were O'Sullivan. So they're
Nice.
very wealthy, very, very wealthy
I mean,
family.
clearly.
All right. The Marquis of Sligo, the Sligo family, they practically own the entire area, but more so we'll look at the section from there going right back. Now, if you turn our attention up there to the sort of Mall Hill,
Yeah.
that's where the Baptist Church is, and that will be our next stop. The Reverend James Marcel Philippo purchased lots there for £100 at the time in 1835 to start the first free village. So that's that's really defined as historic Sligoville Baptist Church.
All right, cool. All right.
They're expecting you, okay?
No.
All right, people, so the old St. John's Anglican Church, and as I said before, this is in Sligoville, and Sligoville is on top of Spanish Town, maybe 10 miles, which is, I think we drove for maybe 20 minutes, if so much. And it's a very, very nice piece of land on top of the hill, very cool, kind of feel like you're up in the Blue Mountains kind of vibe. So Jamaica Uncut OG Church, as we travel around Jamaica and we dive into the history of these churches that molded our society as is today, when Christianity was introduced to enslaved people, to our ancestors. Jamaica Uncut, cut out.
Let's see if I can WhatsApp